Page 29, Gavotte. You can Google what a gavotte is. It's a type of dance. It's a happy dance. Okay. Here they're introducing you to some more Italian terms. You'll see these a lot in music. I don't like lists. I don't like having to go down and memorize lists. I like to learn them as I'm doing them. So I'll talk about them as we're doing them. But just briefly. Ritardando, another Italian. Short is retard or rit. You'll be able to see any of them in the music. Means to gradually slow down. I think of it like a train coming into a station and it's gradually slowing down, except here you don't slow down to a stop. You just slow down. How much slow down? It depends on the music. There's no set. They don't tell you how much. You have to feel that. That's part of interpreting the music. Now, ritenuto or ritenuto, and you see the abbreviations where you notice the RIT is the same as retardando. See, to me, these two words, as far as music goes, is the same. I've never had a reason yet to treat them differently. And in the third line down here, at the end, you see the poco rit. You don't know which of those retardando or ritenuto they're talking about. But to me, it doesn't matter. It simply means I'm going to slow down. Poco means a little. So you just slow down a little, not a lot. I don't know how much a little is. It's not as much as a lot, but it's a little, whatever. A tempo means to resume the speed you were going before you changed it. They say the original speed. I have to be careful about that because that could be confusing. You see, some people will associate the original speed with the first speed, the speed you went at the beginning. And that's not what that means. You have to be careful. Because a piece can change speeds any number of times in the piece. It might start out fast, and then later it could be slow, and whatever. The a tempo simply means to go back to whatever speed you were going before you slowed down or whatever. That, not necessarily the speed at the beginning. It might be, but that's not what you're after. Whatever you were doing before you slowed down, that's what you go back to. But it's all part of interpreting the music. So let's look this over and see what we get. It's 4 lines of music long, treble and bass clef signs, 4/4 time signature. I see a bunch of quarter notes, half notes, eighth notes. I think we can handle all that. The hands are playing at the same time, so I'm going to take it one hand at a time first to make sure I have each hand under control. The right hand, you're starting with third finger on the E, and that is the only finger number you need. You're not moving around. You're right here. And the quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I go through the whole thing, make sure I got that. And I'll do the same with the left hand. You're starting out with a little finger here, then put your hand here. You don't need any other finger numbers. 1, 2, 3. There's no eighth notes in there. Left hand, just this. Okay? So once I have that worked out, then I try and put the hands together. I might hesitate all over. I don't care. I just want to know which fingers are working together. I want to get a feel. So I'm here in C position, and it's here, and then here, here, then here, then here. Third main. 1 and 2, then here. Then. So, not too bad. Well, take a look at the third line. There's just one little section or something in every piece of music that it's there to annoy you, or at least it annoys me. That third line, look out, because both hands are doing their own thing. So it's here, here, and here. This, then this. So you have to work this out very carefully, very slowly. Then once you have the hands sort of working together, then you go back over it a few hundred times or whatever and slowly work out the hesitations. Now when you start getting longer pieces, more involved pieces like this, don't always start at the beginning and go to the end. That's a really inefficient way to practice. When you're working out the problems, only focus on the problems. Spend your time on the problems. Otherwise, you'll end up spending a lot of your practice time playing what you can already play. You don't need to practice that so much. You need to practice on the stuff that you're struggling with. So wherever the third line or wherever it is you're having the most trouble, that's where you spend the most time. Forget the rest of it. Just get that part. You will not have forgotten the other stuff. It'll still be there when you need it. So once you get that worked out, then you can kind of go back, play through it, check and make sure everything's okay, no hesitations anywhere. Keep it slow, but no hesitations. And once that happens, then I'll think about the articulation. We have phrasing in the right hand. We'll lift up. Lift up. It's like taking a breath. The left hand doesn't have anything. I'm going to suggest you connect the left hand all the way through. So here I'm connecting both hands. And then going on, I'm going to lift up here, but I'm going to connect that. So it's, and again, at the end of the line, I'm going to lift up with the right hand, but I'm going to connect the left. So I'm going to connect the left hand all the way through. You got to get the idea where you can do lifting up in one hand without the other, or keep the other down. Yeah. And once I have that, then I think about the dynamics. Starts out with MF at the beginning. Mezzo forte is sort of loud, and that's the melody, which is the right hand. Not loud, just sort of loud. This left hand needs to be soft, light. The second line, sort of soft. Come down a little bit. See, the sort of loud and sort of soft are both in the middle area. Just sort of soft, not soft, sort of. And this left hand's very soft. Third line, you go up to loud, forte. In the right hand. Keep the left hand in the background someplace. Now, lift up in the right hand, but not soft. See, they changed it on you all of a sudden. So again, the third line, in addition to the notes going everywhere. And then the last line, back up to moderately loud like you were at the beginning, and then they give you the arrow, crescendo up to loud. There. I mean, you can really be loud if you want by the end of the second measure there. And then lift up. Because there you're loud here in the right hand. Yeah, yep, loud. You have to feel these dynamics. So you get into it well enough that you're not thinking about notes and rhythms and fingering and all that. You're starting getting into the music. You feel the dynamics. It's like feeling the natural accents. Feel the dynamics too. It helps to feel the phrasing too if you can. Now as far as the speed goes, this says moderato here. I would go take a little faster than that, but okay, moderato's fine. It's a tricky piece with the hands both doing their own thing. It's like a walk and you know where you're going. Boom, blah, 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 yeah. The repeat signs, remember those? You have a repeat sign at the end of the second line. That sends you back to the beginning. So you're going to play the first two lines twice. Then the last two lines are surrounded by repeat signs. So when you repeat at the end, you're only going to go back to the beginning of the third line, and you play those two lines twice. So it's twice as long as it looks. Now they've stuck in a poco rit at the third line. That means we're going to slow down a little bit. And then in the last line, they give you an off tempo. You see, if they don't give you an off tempo, then you continue playing slowly. Because you slow down, you stay there. But the off tempo, you know. So the third line, last two measures. I just slow down a little bit. And then the third line, I take off again. There's ways of interpreting this, but we'll get into that a little later. Right now, I think I've thrown enough here, so let's just do that. copy me. Get into the music. Feel this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel these natural accents as you're going through. Now once you have the notes and rhythms okay, and you can play it without any hesitation, so let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any of the louds and softs, and I can't slow down because the metronome won't slow down. But we will do the repeats. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4.